Bungie just released another update that's getting mixed reviews. Stick around as I discuss Update 1.1.4 or the Go Fast update. That's next. Hey, it's Dead Sock Puppet here. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you're new, thank you for the view, and hopefully you make sure to click that blue puppet below to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any new content. So now let's dig into the update. The update was released March 27th, and the goal was to rework the game and make it more energetic and bring Destiny 2 closer to where Destiny 1 left off. I'm not going to go through the entire patch notes line by line. Rather, I'm going to look at some key changes from the update, as well as some problems that the Destiny community still sees with Destiny 2. If you'd like to read the full notes on the update from the Destiny dev team, I've included a link for them in the description below. So according to a Polygon article by Ryan Gilliam, there are 5 key changes that are part of the update. For those that are interested in reading the full article, I've included a link to the description below. So the 5 key changes are strike-specific loot, reduced repetition, class balancing, crucible changes, and massive gun updates. So what exactly did they change? So with the strike-specific loot, it's basically a great change to the strikes. It gives players another reason to play them. The one thing to note about it is that loot is only available during their weekly nightfall. As for the reduced repetition, basically players will no longer get the same exotic and back-to-back exotic engrams, and players will also no longer have to play the same Crucible map in back-to-back matches. So it gives you a little bit of variety. You don't have to deal with that, grinding the same thing over and over again. With the class balancing, they basically made the Dawnblades good again. They received a general speed increase, as well as the Dawnbreak Super was buffed. With the Crucible, they got it pretty much back to the Destiny 1 glory. The Iron Banner is back to 6v6. There's more frequent power ammo drops, and when players are killed, a percentage of their power ammo is dropped. Then with the guns, like I said, there were massive updates to them. Snipers and shotguns received increased PvE damage and more ammo. There's bigger explosions from the grenade launchers. There were buffs to the fusion rifles. Bonus ammo and damage were added to the SMGs and sidearms. Scout rifles and hand cannons saw many buffs. You can, like I said, check out the notes. You can see specifically what buffs they got. Pulse rifles were completely reworked. The only thing that did get touched were the auto rifles. They basically remain the same as they were pre-update. So despite all of those changes that were mentioned in the Gilliam article, Paul Tassi points out that in an article in Forbes that quote-unquote community salt still reigns supreme. I've included a link in the description for those that want to read the full article by Tassi. He goes on to mention 5 key problems. Number 1, sprinting is unchanged. 2, no hunter jump buff. 3, the rumble play mode is still too crowded. 4, TTK is higher now in PvP. And finally 5, weapon slotting and random rolls. So despite decreased mobility, there's still no changes to sprinting, which makes it kind of odd considering, according to his article, the majority of the people seem to move around with sprinting. Also, he noted that the Agile Hunter class didn't receive any jump buff, which seems kind of odd considering if that's going to be the class that you're going to use for the extra mobility and have your speed character, that they didn't give that buff to them. Rumble makes a return, but it's too crowded with 8 players and it's not as enjoyable as it was. He also mentions that TTK in PvP is now even higher since the mobility buffs make it easier for players to dodge and avoid being killed, which is one of the most heard complaints about this update. And finally, the weapon slotting and random rolls weren't addressed, and while Bungie has them, quote, on their radar, it doesn't appear as though that they'll be addressed before fall. The final point Tassi makes is that if the above are addressed, they would only get Destiny 2 back to where Destiny 1 was at its end. He also stresses that much of the frustration comes from players feeling that Destiny 2 should have been built on a strong foundation of Destiny 1. Instead, it's going to take a year to possibly get the game turned back around. In a tweet that I pulled from the community, Kratos states, "To me, Destiny 2, getting to the former glory of Destiny is going to require a ladder. I think that the Go Fast update is the first rung to the ladder, and with more rungs we would eventually get there." So I've seen both love and salt on Twitter and other social media, so what's your take? Tell me below if this is enough to get you back to playing Destiny 2, or if you're currently playing it, to keep you playing. And if it's not, what would Bungie need to do to actually get you back to playing? Again, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Thanks again for watching. Remember to comment below with your thoughts on the update. Also, if you haven't already, click the blue puppet below to subscribe, and remember to ring the bell to get notifications when I post new content.